And this is probably one of the best pots of coffee I've ever made. Hi, I'm Paul Begley. Good morning.
You got it. What I'm getting ready to say here in a moment is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we've got to face it when we're wrong.
The United States of America is wrong. They're wrong for putting all the blame on Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. Can I read quickly an article that was prepared by the Associated Press from Australia? I love that country. The Australian's foreign minister said Wednesday that the United States government is responsible for the leaking of hundreds of thousands of classified diplomatic memos. And he cautioned against blaming the website that published the secret cables and its founder. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton and other American officials have said that WikiLeaks acted illegally and when it posted the sensitive files. The memos from the American embassies around the world that have embarrassed Washington, D.C. and the United States government. The U.S. is investigating whether Julian Assange, the website's Australian founder, can be prosecuted for espionage or other offenses. What do you mean you're trying to see if you can? That right there is a problem. You either know, look, somebody robs a bank down the street, you don't say, now, can we prosecute? Is there a way to prosecute them for bank robbery or some other charges? Yeah, you don't even have to ask that question. You go get the guy. That isn't the case here. Yes, that's not the case here. It's who said, he said, she said, pointing fingers. You allowed some private. A private. Are you serious? Do you think a private is going to be able to go in and download on a Lady Gaga CD 250,000 cables of sensitive, high classified diplomatic memos and faxes and responses? I don't think so. Somebody allowed the leak. Quit blaming the messenger. And that's what's going on. Let me finish, okay? So the United States government is investigating whether Julian Assange, the website's Australian founder, can he be prosecuted for espionage or other offenses? But Kevin Rudd, thank God, he's got guts. I like this guy, Kevin Rudd. He said the blame lies with the leaker, the United States of America, their government, their failure to protect the secrets. The bottom line here is that the core of all these leaks and all these lies are with the failure of the government of the United States of America to properly protect its own diplomatic communications, said Kevin Rudd on a Melbourne, Australia talk show on Wednesday. If Julian Assange, who has been arrested and jailed in London in an unrelated sex crimes investigation, is also going to be pursued, he must be presumed innocent, said Rudd. To have several million people on their distribution list for 250,000 cables, that's where the problem lies. And the person or persons responsible for their unauthorized release. It's not the messenger who found the secrets and are sharing them with the world that should be. He didn't. That's not espionage. If let's just put it this way. Let's say there's a CIA agent walking down the streets here in Indiana, and he drops his briefcase and forgets it, loses it, lets it leaks. And I pick it up and I find it. And I open the briefcase. And there is top secret documentations of the United States of America. Now, I have a moral responsibility, if I want to take the briefcase back to the CIA. But if I decide to take the information that has leaked and I put it on my YouTube account and share it with the world, you don't come and kill and shoot the messenger. You ask yourself, how did the dam leak? Where's the water coming from? If Assange, who has been arrested and jailed in London in unrelated sex crimes investigations, is also going to be pursued, he must be presumed innocent. To have several million people on the distribution list for 250,000 cables, that's where the problem lies, he said. The person or persons responsible for their unauthorized release, who then gets engaged in the business of disseminating that content of information, that's what WikiLeaks does, or anybody else can do, and everybody else does that receives this information. Assange has surrendered to British police on Tuesday to answer an arrest warrant for a trumped-up, bogus charges of rape. He didn't rape anybody. He had sex with 2 different women. He wore a condom, and the other one he didn't wear a condom. And you can't. And they got some 114-year-old law that says you can't have sex with 2 women in the same week without full disclosure. I mean, come on, people. This isn't rape. This is a setup. It's a honeypot. It's a cesspool of lies. It's become. Listen. These guys are the haters from hell. The real truth is the United States of America let these documents slip for a reason. The reason was they wanted to expose some things that needs to be brought into the light. But unfortunately, when you have dirty hands, you shouldn't be hanging out dirty laundry, because it may look like it's you. And that's what's happening here with America. We're talking about a new world order, a one world government. The Illuminati, or, from my perspective, it all means this: the mark of the beast, the system, the Antichrist, and the rise of the false prophet who has already spoken. When radical jihad teams up with communist China and the other networks involved in the criminality and the corruption of the currencies, you're headed down a path of darkness. So you can read the rest. It's all self-explanatory. Bottom line is, I really am proud. I'm really proud of this foreign minister from Australia, this Kevin Rudd. I mean, absolutely, this guy stood up and told it like it is. Finally, somebody said, "Hey, how can you charge Julian Assange with espionage when it's you just do sloppy housework? You let it leak. You need to turn around and ask Hillary Rodham Clinton and the rest of the CIA and the diplomatic group within the State Department and all of those that are involved in the highly protected classification. How in the world did this happen? Or did somebody higher than Hillary authorize it? Somebody like the President of the United States. I don't know. I'm not accusing him. But there's a leak somewhere. And the last guy we want to blame is the messenger, Julian Assange. Now let me say this quickly about Australia. I love your country. You're a great ally of America. And this guy's calling it out. That isn't going to put any problems between us. And I spent 4 days and nights in Sydney, Australia back in 2002. My wife and I did. 4 glorious days and nights in Sydney, Australia. Oh my God, on the Darling Harbour. And this is the honest truth. The softest mattress I ever slept in my life is the Sheraton Hotel right there on the Darling Harbour. I'm serious. It was paradise. What a time we had. Great. And they had these little cafes all around the harbor. Man, it was a good time. Want to come back. I hope in my lifetime I can. I'm Paul Begley. It's time to leave Julian Assange alone.